SpaceX has taken another step forward in preparing its Starship Megarocket for its next test flight. On Tuesday, May 28th, at the Starbase facility in South Texas, SpaceX conducted a wet dress rehearsal, WDR. During this operation, the company filled Starship's two stages, Super Heavy, and the upper stage known as Starship or simply Ship, with large amounts of liquid oxygen and liquid methane. In a post on X today, May 29th, SpaceX shared that the Starship and Super Heavy were loaded with over 10 million pounds of propellant as part of the preparations for the upcoming Flight 4, which could happen as early as June 5th, pending regulatory approval. This was the second WDR for this particular Starship, following an initial rehearsal on May 20th. These tests are critical steps before the fourth flight, which still requires approval from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration for a proposed update to its launch license. Starship's first 3 test flights were conducted in April 2023, November 2023, and March 14th of this year, with each flight showing improvements. For instance, the first mission ended 4 minutes after launch due to the failure of the stages to separate, while the third flight lasted nearly 50 minutes before the upper stage broke apart during re-entry. The main objective for the fourth flight is to successfully navigate through the maximum re-entry heating, as stated by SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk in a May 20th X post. Standing almost 400 feet, 122 meters tall when fully assembled, Starship is the largest and most powerful rocket ever constructed, designed for full and rapid reuse. SpaceX envisions Starship revolutionizing space travel, potentially enabling economical Mars settlements and other ambitious space exploration missions. NASA shares this vision, having selected Starship to be the first crewed lunar lander for its Artemis moon program. Starship is slated to land NASA astronauts on the moon in late 2025 as part of the Artemis 3 mission. However, many successful test flights are needed before the vehicle is ready to carry humans. Boeing's new Starliner capsule has been given the green light once more for its inaugural astronaut launch. After a review of flight readiness on May 29th, Boeing, NASA, and United Launch Alliance (ULA) teams confirmed their approval for the Starliner mission, dubbed Crew Flight Test (CFT), scheduled for launch on Saturday, June 1st. NASA officials announced that the teams verified launch readiness, including all systems, facilities, and teams supporting the test flight, in an update this afternoon. The CFT mission will send NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams to the International Space Station, ISS, for about a week. The launch is planned to take place on a ULA Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida at 12:25 p.m. EDT, 16:25 GMT. This launch comes nearly 4 weeks later than initially planned. The Starliner was originally set for a May 6th liftoff, but that attempt was canceled just 2 hours before launch due to a malfunctioning valve in the Atlas V's upper stage. The Starliner Atlas V assembly was moved back to a processing building to replace the faulty valve, causing a delay. A new issue then arose, a minor helium leak in a reaction control thruster in Starliner's service module. Teams took additional time to evaluate the leak, further postponing the launch. Eventually, they concluded that the leak was stable and posed no significant risk to the CFT mission, as confirmed by today's review. Astronauts Wilmore and Williams are also prepared for the mission. They arrived at the Space Coast on May 28th, traveling from Houston, where they had been training and quarantining at NASA's Johnson Space Center. CFT will be the third flight for Starliner, the capsule's first flight in December 2019, an uncrewed test to the ISS, fell short due to multiple issues shortly after launch, preventing it from reaching the station. Starliner successfully completed its second ISS mission in May 2022, another uncrewed test flight. If CFT is successful, Starliner will be certified to transport NASA astronauts to and from the ISS for extended missions. Boeing, along with SpaceX, holds a contract with NASA to carry out these missions. SpaceX is currently on its 8th contracted astronaut mission to the ISS, known as Crew 8.